1, 2, 3, 4.
In the darkness, in the cold, not long now this will be sold. Digging deep, just stop and rest. It's hard to clean up this old mess.
What it is, YouTube, you know who it is. It's your boy, the Moose Squad. Let's kick it. I can push play.
Please welcome the Moose in the house.
Welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and get into what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about the epic music of punk rock. So, let's dive into what we're going to talk about, and I hope you enjoy the content. Let me go ahead and start. 1970s, let's set the stage. Let's go ahead and rewind. The stage, 1970. All right. From the rebellious origins of the revolutionary impact of the music scene, the journey promises a wild ride. So grab your leather jackets, lace up your steel-toed boots, and let's dive into the raw energy and passion that defines punk rock. Birth of the revolution. In this segment, we will take you back to the gritty streets of the 1970s, where punk rock was born out of frustration and desire for change. We'll explore the pioneer bands like the Ramones, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, Anti-Nowhere League.
We are the League!
Who ignited the punk movement, with their blistering guitar riffs and anarchical lyric. Get ready to witness the birth of the music revolution that changed the establishment and gave voice to a generation. Segment 2. Okay. Ethos, the underground culture. Ethos means this. Punk rock wasn't the first, it wasn't just about the music, it was about the cultural movement. Okay, so I can take you into this. So I traveled with a punk rock band back in the 90s. 94 is when I graduated high school, and 92 I graduated high school. But 94 I went and got my certificate in sound through Job Corps, and doing sound and stuff for theater and everything else. So I pretty much had my basic engineering, not a good degree, but a basic knowledge of engineering. Sound engineering at that. So I started traveling with a couple of punk rock bands to get established into the music that I am in today. So if you ever watch me on the soundboard, I'm the sound artist when it comes to that part. The thing that I can say is I've been to these places. So when I'm talking about these two establishments, I've been actually to one, and I'll explain the other one in a second. So I just dived into the record labels. The independent record labels that became the backbone of punk rock, from the legendary venue like CBGB's to fanzines. I'll get into that in a second. A fanzine is this. It's a newspaper. Basically, the punk scene, different punk scenes, like mine, for instance, the Scumfucks, we actually had our own zine. So you had your own zine for your crew or whatever, and you sold the zine to make money. We sold it to make money to do stupid shit. Anyways, pretty much. And so the self-released albums will uncover how punk rockers invest in hands-on approach, empowering themselves to create and share the music outside the mainstream. So basically, what has happened is that in the scene itself, they didn't go to MTV or anything like that. Bands like Fear, Anti-Nowhere League, you get what it says. It means Anti-Nowhere League. The League. Basically, the Anti-Nowhere League barely went nowhere. When they did go somewhere, they pushed their music by bringing it with them. So when you got to go to their concerts, there was a pit in there that you can get in there, and we're gonna get into something else too. So before we get into the next segment, I'm gonna stop right here and say that there's gonna be one band in here that I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna go in depth over it because it needs to be said. And after that, we're going to go. So let's go ahead and dive into the next segment. The next segment is the diverse subgenres and sounds. Okay, so as punk rock continued to evolve, it splintered into arrays of some genres, each of the unique styles and sound. For the melodic punk like bands of Green Day, all the way across sound, and Bad Religion.
I'm nobody except genetic runaround.
Okay, here we go. To the hardcore intensity of Black Flag. Okay. The next band I'm going to mention is Minor Threat. We're going to stop right there. We're going to discuss this. So, there is a movement called the Minor Threat movement. That movement was the reds and whites. The reds and white laces. We had purple, blue, and orange. They're the red and white laces. When you recognize these people in punk rock, if they had a red or if they had a white. Red meaning they're Nazis, white meaning they're white supremacists. So that's punk rock. That's the speed. That's the laces. They represent something. They're not, you just put on a pair of laces and go for it. Black laces, purple laces, orange laces, or any other else colored laces are cool. But reds and whites, you stay away from them. Unless you are a Nazi or you're a white supremacist. Those are two different, those are two different things. They're two separate. This band, Minor Threat, was the white supremacy group. They didn't use swastikas because they're not Nazi punks. There's Nazi punks, and then there is the Minor Threat, which is basically a group of thugs basically, and they were the part of the genre where we had clashing with a lot. I had my buddy's teeth kicked in from a guy from Minor Threat. Minor Threat is a band, yes it is. It is a band. But, let me get on to this. It's called a straight edge band. You do not go into a straight edge band. When you get into straight edge is racist. Hands down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you're talking about punk rock, you're talking about the grunge scene. You're talking about the squatter scene. Then you're talking about the crusty scene. And then you're talking about the hippie crusties. Then you're talking about the deadheads. And then you're going to go ahead and straight into straight edge, which they don't drink or drug or do anything like that. They like to beat people up. The shoelaces are a big thing in punk rock. A big thing. You do not wear a certain shoelace, like I just said. Now, the mohawk. When you get into punk rock, you didn't just walk up and say, I want a mohawk. You have to earn your hawk. Seasoned punk rockers sometimes will start out with a mohawk. Then they'll go and invest. They'll get hawk mows, which is the Liberty spikes, or they'll go into the different haircuts. Each haircut that you get represents something, some part of the culture of punk rock, and it represents something. The tri-hawk, the quad hawk, the four. There's four, there's three, there's two, there's one. Then it's the Liberty, which is from ear to ear, which is what I had. And then they had the hawk mow, where you have Animal, I believe he had it, a hawk mow from Demolition. But anyway, so that's pretty much that culture. I know a lot about it because I was like I said, I was heavy in the scene. I traveled with the bands and in a couple groups. So I've experienced life. Now that I'm a DJ, I can use my practical knowledge of music to my advantage. So the reason why I was shooting this video today is because I wanted y'all to know that there's more to music than just music itself. There's the culture, and we're going to be diving into the music culture on these Manic Mondays. So be on the lookout for the next video. I hope this helped you a lot. Now I wanted to start out this one with the most important, and that is this. So be on the lookout for the other Manic Mondays. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And let's go ahead and follow what these guys got to say. And peace out.
Subscribe! Caring is sharing. I like it. Comment!
A moose on a lose, a moose on a lose. It'll be party all day long. A moose on a lose, a moose on a lose. What are you waiting for?